as we welcome you inside the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium on the campus of Viterbo University in La Crosse, Wisconsin for tonight's CCAC men's conference bout between these two classic rivals. The St. Ambrose Fightin' Bees out of Davenport, Iowa, make the trip up on the weekday slate as they'll take on the Viterbo V-Hawks in this one tonight. I'm Kuberlewski, glad you could join us here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. They're announcing the starting five here. Sneakers and suits night. Should be a lot of fun. Fans still filing in here for this matchup. As we'll take a look at the starting five for both sides in this one. Starting with the visiting St. Ambrose Fightin' Bees. On top will be the 6'1 junior from Oswego, Illinois, in Colin Wainscott. Then behind him, the 6'3 junior from Carthage, Illinois, in Nolan Dietrich. Then the 6'6 senior from London, England, in Kieran Farrell. Then the 6'7 junior from Malaga, Spain, in Guillermo Narbona. And then rounding it out, the 6'4 senior from Concordia, Argentina, Ignacio Dacunda. As the Fightin' Bees are coached by Ray Shovlin in his 43rd season. He is assisted by Jim Kiss and Mike Kiss and Lee Hardrick. As for the home side, the Viterbo V-Hawks enter into this one on their best streak of the year. Winners of 3 of their last 4. Look to continue that here tonight. Coming off of a big victory, their first ever victory against Olivet Nazarene. And Olivet Nazarene was receiving votes at the time. Not only that, they also beat them at their place. So for Viterbo will be the 6'1 junior from Bloomington, Wisconsin, and Braden Krubel. Then the 6'2 sophomore from Mineral Point, Wisconsin, Landon Thousand. Then the 6'1 junior from West Salem, Wisconsin, and Carson Kepnick. The 6'5 senior from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and Colin Adams. And then the 6'6 sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, in Trayton Fletcher. As Viterbo, coached by Wayne Wagner in his 27th season, assisted by Rob Kunitz, Scott Kepnick, Andrew Lockington, Jackson Shaw, and Alex Burns. So the Fightin' Bees in the dark blue uniforms. They'll be moving from right to left here in the opening half. For Viterbo in the lighter silver uniforms in this one. They'll be moving from left to right on your screen. Colin Adams to do the jump against Farrell, and he's able to win it back as we are off and running here from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium. The Viterbo V-Hawks and the St. Ambrose Fightin' Bees. Fightin' Bees enter at 5-7 in conference play, as here's Trayton Fletcher down low, already on the scoreboard first. 2-0, V-Hawks right from the jump. But the Fightin' Bees, 8th place right now. They are 8-12 overall. As for their opponents, Viterbo, 6-12, but 4-8 in conference play. Like we stated, winners of 3 of their last 4 entering into this one. Both teams have won 3 of their last 5. Ball floated on top here to Wainscott, one of the most prolific three-point shooters in the conference. He'll get the kick inside on his drive, but he won't get that layup to go. Landon Thousand on the other end for the V-Hawks. They work it here to Krubel, now down low to Trayton Fletcher. Tries to hand it off, elects to kick it out. They'll work it over to the corner. Here's Colin Adams with a drive, won't get it to fall as a rebound collected by Narbona. Viterbo coming off of a massive 69-64 victory at Bourbonnais, Illinois against Olivet Nazarene. The first time they've ever beaten them. Took them 4 tries. I believe 5 tries, and they finally got the better of them. Kick to the far corner, 3 balls up, 3 balls good from Nolan Dietrich. Shoots 47% from beyond the arc this season and puts his side in front for the first time tonight. About those Fightin' Bees, they're coming in. Winners of their last contest against Indiana Northwest as Krubel tries a drive. He'll kick it, no look to the near corner. 3 ball, Adams just far as it hits off the iron. But the Fightin' Bees went to overtime, a 96-91 victory over the Red Hawks of Indiana Northwest. As we mentioned, winners of 3 of their last 5 entering into this one. As Dietrich into the lane, kicks it out. 3 ball on the way, no good by Kieran Farrell. Fighting for the rebound and able to save from going out of bounds is Colin Adams. 1 pass forward to Landon Thousand, feeds it inside on his way up. Looks like he may have been blocked by, Trayton Fletcher. As up the floor here is Dacunda. He'll drive. He'll answer. Dacunda averaging 17 points per game. That's 5th best in the CCAC entering tonight. Full slate of ball games on this Wednesday in the CCAC. As Krubel dishes it off, Landon 1,000. 3 balls good. We are all even again. 5-5. 17-14 left here in the first half. The 63rd meeting all time between these two sides, dating back to the old Midwest Collegiate Conference. As the Fighting Bees work it to the near corner. 3 ball up, no good by Nolan Dietrich. The Fighting Bees 35-28 overall. Last time these two teams met last year, Viterbo able to collect the victory 85-74. It ended a 5-game losing streak as Colin Adams gets the feed down low. He'll lay it up and in, and the V-Hawks back in front by 2. 7-5, 16:30 left here in the first half. Viterbo in front. They're able to get it here to Narbona. He'll try backing down his man, and he'll overpower him. Puts it up off the glass and good. And once again, this is 7-7, all even. Krubel walks it up the point, walks up the floor, running the point for the V-Hawks. Trying to get it into Fletcher, gives it right back. Look for Kepnick. He'll attack, pulls up, he'll knock it through. Kepnick coming off of a 6-point performance against Olivet Nazarene. The season high is 20 points. That was set all the way back in October. Very beginning of the season. As the Fighting Bees work it on top. Here's Dacunda. He'll unload. Won't get it to go. Drayton Fletcher, right place, right time. Collects another rebound. Landon 1,000 up the floor. He'll find it back out on top to Fletcher. Thought about shooting. Perhaps a bluff. Gives it back to 1,000, who comes out to collect it. Feeds it back inside to a cutting Drayton Fletcher. Largest lead of the night for either side. It's now 11-7. Viterbo in front with 15:20 left here in the first half. As here is Narbona. Fires it inside on the free throw line. Back out to the wing. 3 ball no good by Dietrich as the ball falls to Colin Adams. Here's Drayton Fletcher now. Off to Landon 1,000. Tries to get it back inside. Blocked on his way up is Drayton Fletcher. Second time tonight he's been blocked on a drive, and he'll try to do it on the other end. He'll take down Ignacio Dacunda. Dacunda gets it to go. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play, but you'll have to wait because we got a timeout on the floor. 11-9 the score. Viterbo in front. 14:51 left to play in the first half. You're watching CCAC men's basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium, I'm Cooper Lipsky. V-Hawks in front, 11-9. But before the timeout, a drive by Ignacio Dacunda resulted in 2 points. He got hacked, so he'll shoot 1 here to try to knock it up and in. Try to pull his side back within 1, and he will. Dacunda shooting 60% from the line this season. He has taken the most free throws for the Fighting Bees this year, 58 of 97. So Viterbo leads this one by a point, 11-10 with 14:38 left in the half as Kepnick tries to drive, but a foul called against Dacunda defensively. So Landon 1,000 to inbound it from the baseline. Tries to get it in quickly. Tries to get it into Kepnick, but it looks like the ball tipped away. Not before a foul is called. Looks like they'll call it on Jack Voigt, as I believe landed 1,000 on the inbound. Thought that maybe the foot of the man guarding him got a piece of the ball before he could slide it in. The referee saw otherwise, as now the Fightin' Bees look to retake the lead. They had it at the very start with a three-pointer. Now trying to battle back in front. Here's Wayne Scott from downtown. Won't get it to go. Colin Adams, one pass forward to Landon 1,000. 1,000 on the far side of the floor with the right hand. Continues his dribble into the lane. Kicks it out. Three ball on the way. Just short for Colin Adams. One pass flicked forward. Chasing after it here is Narbona. He's able to work his way in and score. Fightin' Bees back in front. It's 12-11. 1 point lead with 13:50 left in the first half. Jack Voigt pops out to collect it. Fires it inside to a cutting Kepnick. He takes a fall, and he'll head to the line here. A late shove defensively by Colin Wayne Scott. Perhaps did not need to. Had his man beat defensively and just push down Kepnick. So Kepnick will step to the line here. He is 83% from the line this year. He knocks down the first one. 15 of 18 entering today. Guy who is all around one of the more prolific shooters on the Viterbo side, leading the way with 49% from the free throw line, 43% from deep, which is second best, as he's able to knock down the second one, or the third best, I should say. Drayton Fletcher does not have too many free throws or three-pointers taken, but he qualifies, if that makes sense. Conference dictates who or how many three-pointers you have to make in a certain amount of minutes. He qualifies, so technically he is the number one three-point shooter on the team. Viterbo back in front, 13-12. Ball kicked to the corner. They skip it back out on top to Wayne Scott. He'll drive in with a little floater. Gets it to tumble in. Fightin' Bees back in front, 14-13 with 13-14 left to play. How about that? 1,000 able to cross the Rubicon, able to fire it into Voigt, and back out it comes to Watson. Now looks for Adams, gives it back to Watson. Uses his dribble over to Hennessy. It gives it right back. They work it all the way to 1,000. Here's Colin Adams. Just keep working it around the perimeter. Three ball. Hennessy can't leave him open in the slightest. Jack Hennessy, a freshman out of South Milwaukee, 44% from beyond the arc this season. That's where he makes his money. Puts his side back in front by two. 16-14, 12-40 left to play here in the opening half. As the Fightin' Bees get it on top to DeCunda. He'll barrel into the lane, puts up the shot, but won't get it to go. Rebound by the V-Hawks. Hennessy, he'll double up if he can. He will. Back-to-back possessions with three balls from Jack Hennessy. Makes it 19-14. Largest lead of the night for Viterbo in this one, now up to 5. Pass down low to Narbona. Double team, kicks it out on top. Wayne Scott, he won't miss that one. Silences the crowd for the moment. Third best three-point shooter in the conference, coming off of a 17-point performance where he was 5 of 9 against Indiana Northwest for Wayne Scott. Going to need to get a hand in his face and close out on the perimeter in this one tonight to stop him. 19-17 the score. Viterbo in front. Pass fed down low to Voigt. Voigt on the block. Trying to get past his man with the shot clock down to 4. Not before he walked with it. Trying to get an advantage on the floor, as he'll call upon Cole Johnson here for Viterbo. And Nolan Sexton on the floor now for St. Ambrose. They're going to call upon Jonah Ogunsanya as well for the V-Hawks here late to take over for Landon 1,000. Gets his first break of the afternoon. Say afternoon, it's 7:16 at night. Wayne Scott up the floor for the Fightin' Bees. Trying to draw even, potentially trying to put him in front. Pass fed down low. Narbona has it stripped away. Comes to Hennessy. He'll kick it up to Watson. Watson back to Hennessy. Over to Johnson. Johnson back to Hennessy. He'll try to drive somewhere and pull it out outside of the perimeter. They work it over to Watson. Ogunsanya on top. V-Hawks continue to move that ball around. Far corner three, no good from Johnson. Rising up for the rebound is DeCunda. Finding Colin Wainscott, the junior out of Oswego, Illinois. Pushes it up the floor, finding it to Nolan Sexton. Now on top to DeCunda, now on over here to Wainscott. Wainscott works off of a screen, shot clock down to 10. DeCunda battling, spinning off of Watson, kicks it to the near corner. Here's Narbona. Puts his side back in front, 20-19, 10:30 left to play here in the first half. To the corner, Ogunsanya answers back with a three ball of his own. Puts his side back in front. Teeter-totter affair going right now. Each possession, both teams will either take the lead, or tie, really. That's the way it's been going. As here's Wainscott, works off to his left. Now changes direction, cuts back to his right. Step back, way downtown, won't get it to go. Ball loose, may have been poked by Ogunsanya, and it was. So it'll be Fighting Bees ball out of timeout when we return here with 9:55 left in the first half. Viterbo leads 22-20 here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here on the V-Hawk Sports Network, 22-20. Viterbo in front of St. Ambrose here in this one so far. But the Fighting Bees get possession after Ogunsanya, last man to touch it for for Viterbo. As now a whole new slate of Fighting Bees on the floor now. As here Sexton able to get it down low. They pop it back out to Sexton. Close out by Fletcher. Look, kick it back to the near corner. Three ball up by Ryan Kenny. Won't get it to go. Rebound collected. First one no good. Second one no good as well for the Greek in Nikos Gerakostas. So here's Ogunsanya. Works to his right. Kicks it back out to 1,000 on top. Tries a drive. Feeds it to the short corner. Mid-range jumper. No good from Trayton Fletcher. Fighting Bees collect possession. And then Sexton slides it over here to Kieran Farrell. Farrell going to work off a screen. Able to hit his man cutting in Solomon Garrison. Able to save it from going out of bounds and work it back to Dietrich. Looks now here to Gerakostas. Slides it out here to Farrell. He'll make his way underneath the hoop and able to circumnavigate the floor to find the hoop. 22-22, all even once again with 8:45 left in the first half. Ogunsanya trying to put his side back in front. He can't, as Gerakostas able to collect it. One pass forward to Solomon Garrison as a three ball no good from Kieran Farrell. Ogunsanya has a lane off of the feed. He'll drive, won't get the roll to go, but he'll head to the line here. Farrell picks up his first foul, second team foul here in the first half. Two shots for Jonah Ogunsanya, senior out of Mount Prospect, Illinois, shooting 55% from the line this season. 6 of 11, won't get that one to roll in. Viterbo, ninth in the CCAC at 67% from the line this year. As Jack Voigt going to make his way on for Trayton Fletcher. Ogunsanya trying to knock down the second one. It's up and it's good. Makes it 23-22 with 8:25 left here in the first half. Nolan Sexton up the floor. Dishes it off to Dietrich. Tries to hit Garrison. Driving. Great find, but a bit too much touch on the finish. Can't get it to roll in. Up the floor here. Spinning into the lane and using the backboard. Colin Adams. Off to a good start in this one. His side leads 25-22 already now for Adams. Well, in fact, that's his first bucket of the night. Had a couple looks from downtown. Hasn't been able to sink any, however. As here's Garrison. Going to work off a screen to his right. Had some options. Dishes it off. 3 ball by Kenny. Did he call bank? The official must have heard it because it'll count. 25-25 after the junior center out of Chicago, Illinois banks home a 3. Ogunsanya with a pump fake, able to get Garrison to fly by. Kicks it out. Here's Krubel. 3 ball on the way to match. 3 on one end, 3 on the other. Back to a 3-point advantage for Viterbo, 28-25. As here's Garrison. Picks up his dribble to Dietrich. Over to Sexton. Nolan Sexton now, backing up. Trying to get some separation against Ogunsanya. The defense switches. Here to Dietrich. He tries to drive, a little up and under. Able to get it to go. Pulls it within 1. 28-27, 6:50 left here in the first half. Viterbo in front. Their largest lead in this one has been 5 points. For St. Ambrose, it's been 3. Goes to show you how tight this contest has been as a pass intercepted, trying to cross the court. Solomon Garrison collects it. Slows it up, waits for some help offensively. They dish it over to Kenny. Now open, Sexton 3, can't get it. Landon Thousand, ball falls to him. Pushes it up the floor. They work it to Ogunsanya. Here's Adams, back to Thousand on top. Thousand's going to work off to his left. Trying to feed it inside. Tipped off the fingertips of Garrison, and it'll stay Viterbo ball. Carson Kepnick back out on the floor for Viterbo. Nolan Dietrich on the floor. I think I'm calling Kieran Farrell and Nolan Dietrich. But mixing them up. Inbound to Thousand. From Thousand. Gets it to Adams. He's blocked. Stuffed by DeCunda. But resilient. Colin Adams will not be stopped. He may be stuffed. But he puts his side in front, back by 3. 30-27 with 2:55 left to play here in the first half. Garrison on top here to DeCunda. Trying to get it down low. Voigt got a little too greedy. Get a bit too much of Ryan Kenny. And they'll inbound it from underneath. Looks like DeCunda will be the man to inbound it here. Now before, Trayton Fletcher back on as Voigt picks up his second foul of the first half. The inbound by DeCunda. He'll float it back to Garrison. Garrison going to work to his right. Trying to get past Carson Kepnick. He'll pull up from the free throw line. Won't get it to go. Colin Adams collects the rebound. Kicks it forward here to Landon Thousand. Thousand trying to drive. Finds no lane. Gets it back once he pops out. They work it over to Kepnick. Hits a cutting. Braden Krubel just sliding behind Solomon Garrison. He wasn't aware, but Krubel very well was. 32-27, 5:15 left here in the first half. As DeCunda hits it to Garrison, starting his drive, unable to get that one as DeCunda almost had himself a rebound over top of Landon Thousand, but ends up turning it over. Colin Adams takes baseline, a little up and under, just throwing up something. Throws it at the underside of the hoop. Kick it to the far corner. Now here with it is Kenny. Kenny gives it to Solomon. Garrison. Garrison dishes it back out. Dietrich with a bounce pass to Farrell. Farrell feeds it inside. Back out it comes. Garrison, 3 ball. Shot clock down to 10. Does not matter. Pulls his side back within 2. Solomon Garrison, a 35% three-point shooter this year. He's played in 17 games. So Viterbo looking to get back to potentially a 5-point lead once again. Fletcher pops out to collect it, hands it off. Krubel thought about shooting the three. Gets it to Thousand, works it quickly to the short corner. Adams back out to Thousand. Shot clock down to 5. Last-ditch effort here. Fletcher throws one up. Can't get it to go. Hits off the rim. Trying to win it back is Krubel. The last touch by him. That'll be the last touch as we head to timeout. 3:54 left in the first half. Viterbo leads 32-30. You're watching CCAC men's basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here from the RW Begg Senior Gymnasium, I'm Cooper Lipsky. 32-30 the score. Viterbo in front of St. Ambrose. The first matchup between these two sides all the way back in 1983-84 season. Both sides were a part of the Midwest Collegiate Conference. One of the older rivalries, I can imagine, in the CCAC as a whole. As we got an offensive foul called, they'll call it on Nikos Garakostas. Or my apologies, Nolan Dietrich, junior out of Carthage, Illinois, picking up the foul. He showed the 4 and the 1. Forget, we're at the back of the official up here. So we got to flip it next time. Fletcher back out to Hennessy, looks for Thousand, back to Hennessy. Over to Kepnick, feeds it inside to Fletcher. Shot clock down to 10. He'll try driving baseline, a little up and under. Can't get it. Rebound by the Fighting Bees. 4 on 2 in defense. Vihawks able to scamper back to stop the offensive push. As here is DeCunda down low, working against Thousand. Fires it inside. Great find. Better finish by Guillermo Narbona. Narbona ranks second in the conference, averaging 20 points per game. He's up to 9 now in this one. He's up to 9. 32-32, all even. Here from the RW Begg Senior Gymnasium in La Crosse, Wisconsin. As now Watson tries drive and loses a handle on it. It'll go out of bounds. As we'll have ourselves a couple of subs for Viterbo. Colin Adams and Braden Krubel back out onto the floor. Also call upon Jonah Ogunsanya here late. Comes in for Jacob Watson. But 32-32, 2:37 left to play here in the first half. St. Ambrose looking for the lead here. Their largest lead in this one, as we mentioned, 3 points right at the very start of the contest. Viterbo, it was up to 5. Ball slung to the wing. 3 ball on the way. Drained for Colin Wainscott. 35-32. Fighting Bees back in front as Landon Thousand slings it off to Krubel. Back with it on top here is Hennessy. Works off a screen in the high post. Back out. Ogunsanya has his man jumping. Trying to work it quickly. Deflected but finds its way to Krubel. They work it back to Ogunsanya. Shot clock down to 10. Hand off to Hennessy. Misses it left. Ball falls to the Fighting Bees. 1 pass forward, 3 ball on the way. Nolan Dietrich puts his side back in front for their largest lead of the night. 38-32, 1 minute, 40 seconds left here in the half. Krubel hands it off here to Thousand. Thousand, he'll attack, puts up the shot, won't get it. Ball tumbling loose in the lane before Narbona comes away with it. He'll try to attack up the floor. Kicks it off to the corner. Here's Wainscott again. Third made 3 in 3 possessions. It's a 9-point swing as they lead now 41-32. Viterbo looking for an answer. Ogunsanya picks up his dribble, fires it inside to Colin Adams. He'll call for some help here. Gets it off. Krubel, 3 ball. Little kitty whop is out of the hand as it's now rebounded by Wayne Scott. Final minute here in the opening frame. 41-32. Fighting Bees, 9 points in the last 3 possessions, all from the 3 ball. Will they look for another? They'll try. Dietrich, he will. 4 possessions, 4 made threes. They trailed, and now they're back in front, their largest lead in the matter of 2 minutes. 44-32. Thousand will skip it to Ogunsanya. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Back out, 3 ball, unloads. Braden Krubel able to knock it through, makes it 44-35, final 10 seconds of the half. Much needed bucket for Viterbo. Will it be negated? It won't. Final seconds here as Adams from way downtown off the side of the backboard. And that'll do it for the first half. An incredible 12-3 swing after the game was tied at 32-32. And the Fighting Bees collected their largest lead at 12 as now we've reached a halftime break. But dance team is going to come on. And they said to keep it on, so everybody will get to watch them perform. But as we sit at the break, 44-35 as the Fighting Bees lead this one over Viterbo. As you're watching CCAC men's basketball on the VHawk Sports Network. As we welcome you back inside the RW Bag Senior Gymnasium at the break, 44-35. The St. Ambrose Fighting Bees making the trip up. Their only matchup against the V-Hawks this season, and they lead right now 44-35. A 12-3 run to end the first half. 4 possessions, 4 made three-pointers in a row. Really swung the momentum in favor of the Fighting Bees, and they're trying to ride it into the second half in this one. Take a look at some leading scorers in the first half. Braden Krubel for Viterbo with 8 points. Jack Hennessy, thanks to a pair of threes he knocked down, he has 6. Colin Adams, a bit of a slow start in this one, 6 points, but 5 rebounds. For the Fighting Bees, Colin Wainscott, 11 points, 3 of 5 from downtown. Nolan Dietrich, 9 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. And then Guillermo Narbona with 9 points as well. Ignacio DeCunda with 7 rebounds in this one. He'll float it in to get it started. And here we go, folks. A second half from the RW Bag Senior Gymnasium in La Crosse, Wisconsin. As the Fighting Bees look to pick up what would be their second victory in a row. They went to overtime on Saturday against Indiana Northwest. And this one tilts a certain way. We could very well see that happen once again. At least for the Fighting Bees fans, but trying to prevent that. Kieran Farrell drives the lane, lays it off the glass with a whole lot of contact, and already off to an 11-point lead to open the half. Pass fed down low to Jack Voigt. Voigt uses his dribble. Back out it comes to 1,000. He'll drive now. Kicks it on top to Kepnick. They'll swing it to Adams. They get it back on over to 1,000 on the far side of the floor. Drives underneath the hoop, looking for some help. Gets it out to Voigt. Here's Krubel, has a couple men jumping. They swing it to Colin Adams. Shot clock down to 5. Back out, Kepnick, corner 3. Far, fighting for the board, and collecting it is nobody. Tipped out of bounds, last touch by Colin Adams, so it'll be Fighting Bee ball. St. Ambrose right now, 47% from beyond the arc, 55% from the field, while Viterbo 41% from the field and 43% from downtown. Both teams shoot very well from beyond the arc. Those to be expected coming into this one, both in the top 5 as a team, as Viterbo 3rd best, St. Ambrose 4th best. As Narbona able to work into the lane and pick up 2 points, makes it 48-35. Largest lead, and it continues to grow for the Fighting Bees. As here's 1,000 back on top to Voigt. Hands it back off to him. 1,000 over to Krubel. Needs a 3. Won't get it. Kieran Farrell, right place, right time, collects the board. Slots it back to Wainscott. He'll command the offense here. Narbona dribbles off to his right before handing it off here to DeCunda. DeCunda with a bounce pass on the free throw line. Able to hit a cutting Farrell. And a timeout taken. Viterbo looking for any sort of answer here in this one. 50-35. Massive run here to open the half for the Fighting Bees with 17:52 left in the ball game. You're watching CCAC men's basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Here on the V-Hawk Sports Network, 50-35 the score. The Fighting Bees coming out to a 6-0 run, picking up where they left off in the first half. Currently on an 18-3 run, dating back to about the final 3 minutes of the first half. And they've opened the second half with some of that same juice. Landon 1,000 kicks it to the short corner. Driving the baseline here is Adams. He's able to escape and kick it out. 3-ball, 1,000 can't get it to fall as Wayne Scott collects the board. As he's walking it up the floor, some of the other games going on in the CCAC tonight. A full slate on the men's side and the women's side. But as it sits right now for a couple of the other ball games, Trinity Christian with a 75-73 victory over Indiana South Bend as Wayne Scott will unload from way downtown. Before the shot clock expired, it's able to be collected by Kapnick and the V-Hawks. As here's 1,000. Works it to the far side of the floor. Bounce pass to Krubel on top. They sling it here to Adams. Now back to Krubel. He'll attack on a drive. Lost a handle on it. Somehow tumbles its way to Kapnick. Shot clock down to 10. Adams blocked on his way up, able to recollect it and score. 50-37. First point of the second half for Viterbo in this one. St. Francis right now 33-29 over Calumet. Indiana Northwest in a tight one with San Xavier 40-37 in that one. As he drive the shot no good, but a foul called, and it will be against Colin Adams. Jack Voigt. But Holy Cross trailing Judson 35-32, and then Olivet Nazarene 18, Governor State 17. So with the exception of this one, all one possession games going on. Fletcher subs on for Viterbo. As Narbona, his second one up and good. Narbona knocks down both, puts his side up 52-37. 16-16 left here in the second half. Viterbo needs some baskets to fall. Stousen will drive. He kicks it back out here to Kapnick. Krubel over to Adams, trying to attack the rim. He's cut off, gives it out to Kapnick. He'll pull up, mid-range jumper is good. Guess you call him old reliable, Carson Kapnick. Whenever you need a basket, he's the guy you look for. 49% from the field, leads the team this year. As the Fighting Bees still holding on to this 13-point lead. But what is 13 points? And a travel call as DeCunda was making his way to the rim. What I mean by that is we saw St. Ambrose go on a 12-0 run. So 13 A 13-0 run surely is not out of the realm of feasibility for Viterbo here. It's got to be on their mind. Krubel to Adams to Kapnick, back to Adams. Adams drives in. He's fouled on his way up as Ignacio DeCunda put his hands on the attacking Adams. Two shots for Colin Adams. Man who gets to the line more than anybody on the V-Hawks side, but does have his fair share of struggles from the charity stripe. He's able to knock down the first one, make it a 12-point game. The second one up, and it won't go. Battling for the rebound is Krubel, but Narbona using his height to collect it. Wayne Scott runs the point for St. Ambrose. They work it off to Farrell. Now over to Wayne Scott. Skips it back out on top here to Dietrich. Dietrich feeds it to Narbona. The Spaniard spinning. Nice move. Great finish. Some of his cohorts on the bench even sit back and say, whoa, I didn't know you had that one. 14-point lead for St. Ambrose here. With 14:38 left to play in the half. Kapnick, corner three, doesn't get it. Fletcher tries to rip it away, poking it from behind, but getting a bit too much of Ignacio DeCunda. So a timeout on the floor, 54-40 the score. Viterbo trailing St. Ambrose in this one, but a whole lot of ball game left. 14:32 left here on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here from RW Baggs Senior Gymnasium, 54-40, 14-point lead for the Fighting Bees here in the second half. I'm Cooper Lipsky, and there's Wayne Scott. Thought about shooting the three in the corner, able to dish it down low. Going to work, putting up the shot, and knocking it through is Ignacio DeCunda. DeCunda having himself a great performance tonight. 7 points, 8 rebounds. Ball tipped out of bounds, last touch by a V-Hawk. And it is not going Viterbo's way. Had led for almost the entirety of the first half. And a little 18-2 stretch ending the first half and starting the second have put themselves in a big hole, and looking to dig them a little deeper here is Ryan Kenny. 59-14. All Fighting Bees flying high right now over Viterbo. Krubel to 1,000. Works off to his right. Tries to attack the lane. Can't quite. Kicks it out. Works it on top. Colin Adams. He'll unload, but he won't get it to go. Adams 36% from the three-point line this season. He is most notable for his impressive drives cutting through. I'm not using hyperbole. He cuts through about 4 guys every time, and there's a man. Ignacio DeCunda cutting through a couple defenders on his way to the rim. And a full line change for Wayne Wagner's side. Not liking what he saw out of his starters here in the second, or here to start the second half. So he's going to go to the B side here for the moment. With Ogunsanya, Watson, Hennessy, Voigt, and Cole Johnson all out on the floor now. DeCunda's shot is up. Can't get it to go. He'll take the 2 points, however. 61-40 the score. 59. 61-40. 13:04 left to play here in the half. As here's Hennessy. Ogunsanya works off a screen. Has some space. Kicks it off to Hennessy. He'll drive. Tries to get it back on top. A collision. Ball collected by Nolan Sexton. Off the floor he goes with it. Kicks off to DeCunda. He'll feed one more pass, perhaps too many for Kenny. Not quite. I spoke too soon. As Ryan Kenny, whole lot of passes down low, but able to convert to make it 63-40. A 23-point lead for the Fighting Bees in this one, as a foul called down low, as they're going to call DeCunda getting a bit too much of Jacob Watson. They'll call upon Kieran Farrell, the Englishman. Watson trying to sink down both. Watson 67% from the line this year. Hits the first one. Watson makes a second, makes it a 21-point lead, or 21-point deficit for Viterbo here with 12:19 left in the ball game. Sexton dishes it off to Farrell, works off of a screen, kicks it to the corner. Now deeper into it is Farrell. Tries to float it in. Watson able to get a hand on it and able to save from going out of bounds as Jack Hennessy. One long pass forward, finds its way to Johnson, a little up and under on the layup. Love the effort there if you're Wayne Wagner, but still a lot of work to do. 19-point deficit now. Need a stop on defense. Kenny on over to Sexton. Feeds it down low. Here's Narbona. A little sky hook. He won't be denied. The Spaniard putting in good work in this one, as he has done all season long. Makes it 65-44, 21-point lead again. As Voigt looking for some help. It's it to Hennessy. Hennessy gets past his man, throws up a mid-range jumper, can't get it. Johnson hits the deck, able to strip that one away. Ogunsanya won't get that one to fall. Rebound by Narbona. Narbona, a surrogate point guard for the moment before he dishes it off to Sexton. 11 minutes left to play here in the ball game. Narbona able to zip it down low, finding Farrell and count it. Viterbo outscored 23-9 here in the second half. As Colin Wainscott back out on the floor for the Fighting Bees here. Shot is up. Shot is good for Farrell. Shoots 71% from the line. Makes it 68-44. You know, we talk about the Fighting Bees and their record in conference, 5-7. Take a look at their schedule. About 4 or 5 games easily could have gone their way that didn't, including a 79-71 loss to Indiana South Bend, a 81-80 loss to St. Xavier. A 3-ball unloaded by Hennessy. Won't get it. Rebound by Sexton. 82-77 loss at Olivet Nazarene. 81-80 St. Francis. 98-90 against Calumet. Goes to show that this Fighting Bees squad is better than what their record indicates. May have just been dealt a bad break on some of those contests earlier in the conference season, including a 65-62 losses. That shot won't go in from the corner. Calumet, Indiana Northwest, 68-65 as Ogun Sanya drives the lane, gets that one to go, makes it a 22-point lead now for the Fighting Bees. Perhaps one of the better teams in the conference. Some of those numbers did not show that. Shot is up with a long 3, no good from Narbona. Watson up the floor now for Viterbo. Looks for Ogun Sanya with a pump fake. Rips, drives, right-handed lay. Back to a 20-point ball game with 9:15 left here in the second half. Ever since the starting 5 came in, the starting 5 went out for the first 5 off the bench. They've been putting in some good work, and that'll force a hand of Ray Shovlin. A timeout, so we'll step away. 20-point deficit for Viterbo. They trail 68-48 with 9:10 left in this one. So you're watching CCAC Men's Basketball on the V-Hawk Sports Network. Back here on the V-Hawk Sports Network, 68-48, Viterbo trailing this one to the St. Ambrose Fighting Bees. I'm Cooper Lipsky. The only 2 teams not apart, or not of the Chicagoland region, but in the Chicagoland Conference. Ball inbounded from in front of the Fighting Bee bench. Kind of on their own 2 little islands way out yonder. One in Iowa, one in Wisconsin. Both kind of along the Mississippi River. And everybody else in that Chicagoland, Gary, Indiana area, South Bend, Megalopolis. Pass fed inside to Garacostas. You can't get it to go. It's on the drive and the layup by Braden Krubel. V-Hawks sticking with it here in the second half. As here's Nolan Sexton. Hands it off to Wainscott. Wainscott with a crossover. He'll try to drive. Picked up his dribble, not quite. Wainscott continues. Able to find Bastion in Farrell. Now here to Wainscott again. Shot clock down to 7. Down low, battling here is Kenny. He'll kick it out. Long 3. Wainscott from way downtown. Makes it 71-50 with 8 minutes left. Wayne Scott now with 17 points, 5 of 9 from beyond the arc in this one. As Ogunsanya made his way through the lane, he gets hacked on his way up, gets it to go. An opportunity here to, or my apology, you missed that one. Take your eyes off the game for 1 second. Things happen. Able to knock down the first one. 71-51, back to a 20-point deficit for Viterbo. Shot is up, shot is good for Ogunsanya. Leading scorer right now for Viterbo is Braden Krubel with 10 points, while St. Ambrose, 3 players in double digits right now with Narbona, Wayne Scott, and Farrell. Pass fed inside here to Dacunda. Into the lane, double teamed. Another, how about that? Another sky hook for the Fightin' Bees. Make it 73-52. Viterbo trying to crawl back into this one, but the offense for the Fightin' Bees too stout in this one right now. Krubel back out. Johnson, 3 ball, can't get it. Ball almost bangs off the rim and back to him. But it'll be collected by Wayne Scott. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left in this one. Wayne Scott trying to fire it into the lane, but it's tipped at the last moment. Ogunsanya scoops it up between the legs with a crossover. Back out it comes. Here on the drive, Braden Krubel rises up. That one off the rim. Johnson collects a board. Ogunsanya, 1 pump fake, able to get past his defender. Puts up the shot, won't get it. Krubel almost able to win the rebound, but a foul called against Braden Krubel in the scuffle for the rebound. Watson and Ogunsanya off the floor. Braden Krubel right now 10 points. Jonah Ogunsanya with 10 points. Ogunsanya, his season high, 18 points. As for Krubel, his season high, 17 points. So still definitely possible, but not before a walk is called against Nikos Gerakostas out of Kozani, Greece. Beautiful country. I've never been, but I've seen the pictures. 73-52 the score. 6:10 left in the half. And in the ball game, in that fact. As Adams, he'll attack here off the glass. Can't get the roll to go, but he'll have the line to shoot 2 here. Taking a look at the standings in the CCAC. Indiana South Bend, Governor State, and Olivet Nazarene all lead the way with 9-3 identical records in conference play. First one up. The first one is no good. Of course, Olivet Nazarene and Governor State doing battle right now. Inching closer to halftime in that one. St. Francis, the lone team at 8-4. Trinity Christian at 7-5. Calumet and Indiana Northwest at 6-6. St. Ambrose and St. Xavier at 5-7. Second one going to be good for Adams. Viterbo at 4-8. Holy Cross at 3-9. And Judson at 1-11. 5:53 left to play here in the ball game. Solomon Garrison gets it off to Wayne Scott. They work it here to Dietrich. Dietrich with a bounce pass. Finding Kenny inside now. Narbona, he'll just pop the long 2, won't get it. As it comes off of, well, it looked like it came off of Kaepernick, but the official there had a better look on it. As Ray Shovlin, the cager for the Fightin' Bees, talking to the official, and they both depart laughing. So I imagine maybe they said, I'd rather, no foul. I won't call the foul. I'll just give him the ball. Save the embarrassment. 1,000 into the lane. Back out. Adams. He'll fire one up. Won't get it. Rebound. Collected by Wayne Scott. Runs into his own man. They depart. As the pass comes here to Narbona. Almost picked by Keptic. Drives underneath the hoop. They work it quickly. Caddy. 3 ball. Rims out. 1,000 collects the board. 5 minutes left to play here from the RW Begg Senior Gymnasium. Krubel over to 1,000. He'll dish it off and gets it right back. 1,000 tries to drive off the glass and gets it to tumble in. 73-55, a 18-point lead here for the Fighting Bees, and a foul called on the drive by Narbona. Before we have our inbound to get us back to play, we got to step away. 4:31 left here in the ball game as Viterbo trails St. Ambrose 73-55. You're watching CCAC men's basketball on the VHawk Sports Network. Back here from the RW Begg Senior Gymnasium. 73-55, St. Ambrose, the Fighting Bees, lead this one with 4:30 left in the contest. Ball sent to the backcourt. Wayne Scott able to get to it. Ogunsanya, went back for it and must have turned his ankle the wrong way. As underneath the hoop, crashing down on Nolan Dietrich is Colin Adams. So it'll be easy call for the officials. He'll head to the line here. Ogunsanya walking it off, but they're immediately going to call upon Braden Krubel. He'll get looked at by the trainers. He's able to walk it off, so I assume that he should be all right. Just went back for that one ball, kind of twisted ankle when he leapt for it. Getting checked out by the trainers. He's able to walk it off, so I think that's a good sign. He's able to knock it down to make it a 75-55 ball game as the Fighting Bee is going to be in the bonus for the next 4 minutes of this one. 1-and-1s until 3 more team fouls are dished out by Viterbo as Hennessy drives, kicks it inside to Fletcher. Fletcher barrels his way to the hoop. He'll score. Viterbo in a full court press here. Man-to-man as Adams able to cut off his man. Dishes it back to Narbona. Now skips it right back forward to Dietrich. It's stolen away. Jack Hennessy off the glass and good. There is life, perhaps, as Garrison able to sling this one forward to Dietrich. This one almost taken away. Punch back. Having to get on the floor. Bodies collide. Able to slide in and take it away. Ball still remains loose. And a kick ball violation by Narbona. Viterbo wins possession back. It wasn't easy, but they got it. Trailed this one by as much as 22 points in this contest. It'll be one heck of a comeback if they can pull it off. Still a long way to go. As floating it here to Colin Adams. Adams going to ask for Hennessy. Hennessy puts up the mid-range far and trying to save it is Colin Adams. He'll be out of bounds. Last touched by Viterbo. Everybody off except for Colin Adams here. Everybody's got to get matched up. Or no, Adams started to make his way towards the bench. Then they realized that it'd be 5-on-4, and that would be fair. You're allocated 5 guys. I don't know if you necessarily have to use them all. As they're able to cross half court, trying to play keep away now from Viterbo. Ball comes to Narbona, feeds it down low, back with it on top. Here's Wayne Scott. Kepnick in tight defense. It's Wayne Scott almost able to, almost loses the handle on it, but one last touch by Jack Voigt will garner the eye of the official and the whistle as well. Final 3 minutes to play here in this one. Called Jack Voigt off and Jack Hennessy on. Shot misses off the front of the rim for Wayne Scott. Rare miss from him. He's only missed 10 this season from the free throw line. 41 of 51 to be exact. Is Cole Johnson. He'll try to drive it in the lane, kicks it out. They work it to Kepnick. Now over to Hennessy. Poke from behind. Lost a handle for a moment. Finding it to 1,000. Now looks on top. They'll sling it quickly. Kepnick, 3-ball. Yes, sir. Timeout taken. 32nd by Wayne Wagner. Now a 75-62 score. Turbo marching back into this one. Only a 13-point deficit now. Take a look at the team totals in this one. St. Ambrose, 57% from the field, 44% from three, and 86% from the free throw line. Viterbo, 42% from the field, 29% from beyond the arc, and 75% from the free throw line. Viterbo, 9 of 12, while St. Ambrose from the free throw line, 6 of 7. Guillermo Narbona leads away, 17 points, 7 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from deep, and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. While for Viterbo, 3 players with 10 points, Braden Krubel, Colin Adams, and Jonah Ogunsanya. Come back out in the full court press here. Try to put the pressure on. Ball slid inward to DeCunda. Narbona, bounce pass back to Farrell. They'll get it back to Narbona. One bounce pass forward. As now, once again, they play keep away. Able to find a wide open DeCunda down low and falling down hard. Is Cole Johnson. He went up, came down hard on his back, but he's up. He's all right. As they'll call upon Braden Krubel to enter back into the fray. 15-point lead for the Fightin' Bees as Landon 1,000 looks for Hennessy. Hennessy back to 1,000. 1,000 will try to drive, puts up a shot, ends up floating it to Colin Adams underneath the hoop. Uses the backboard, can't get it to go. Needed that one as a foul called as Kepnick trying to take the ball away from Kieran Farrell. 2 minutes and 1 second left to play here in the first half from the R.W. Begg Senior Gymnasium. Be a big victory for St. Ambrose. They have not won on the road this season if they can hold on to this 15-point lead. 7-3 at home, 1-1 in neutral site contest, technically an away game, I suppose, and 0-8 in away games. As Farrell able to knock down the first one. Second one up, second one good. Makes it 79-62. Fightin' Bees, full control of this one. Viterbo looking to do the improbable. They'll call upon Landon 1,000, and that's been the night. Just a bad roll. But in the scuffle for the rebound, DeCunda ends up tipping it out of bounds. So here's Landon 1,000 to inbound. Gets it in quickly, looking for Kepnick. Finds its way to 1,000. Tipping it back is Kepnick. He can't get it to roll in. Rebounded by the Fightin' Bees. 1:40 left to play. Crisscrossing up the floor is DeCunda. They'll slide it inside here to Kenny. Back out. Here is Narbona. To the corner it comes to Farrell. Able to spin off his man, little Euro. Able to kick it on top, behind the back. Little Harlem Globetrotter right now. The floater, good by Narbona. 81-62, 1:15 left. 1,000 into the lane, off the glass, can't get it. Adams, second chance, not that much better, unfortunately, for Viterbo. Ball floated to Farrell. Wayne Scott, and here Narbona again. Floats it back to Wayne Scott. Here DeCunda tries working past Hennessy. He'll try skipping it across the floor. 3 ball, no good. It wouldn't have counted. Foul against Jack Hennessy. 3 players scheduled to come on. Watson, Johnson, and Ogunsanya for Viterbo. Nolan Dietrich talking to some of the Viterbo trainers on hand. And he'll be making his way over to the training table, make sure he's all right. DeCunda knocks down both. 82-62, back to a 20-point lead for the Fightin' Bees here. Pass shifted inside. Kepnick off the glass and good. Makes it 82-64. Final 40 seconds, 10-second separate shot clock from game clock as Johnson able to intercept this one. Cole Johnson, always a fiery competitor. Plays hard to the final whistle. Pass slotted forward here to Farrell. About 3 seconds separate shot clock from game clock as they'll fire it into Kenny. Floats it back to Farrell. Now over to Wayne Scott. They'll have to put something up. That's Narbona. They might just take the shot clock violation here. It looks like they will. So Viterbo has it for 4 seconds. Unless they can move at supersonic speed, this one's over. Final second, and the horn sounds. An 82-66 victory for the Fightin' Bees as they collect their first victory on the road this season in a big way. It was much in part to that 18-3 run that started as a 12-3 run at the end of the first half and then carried over into the second half, and that just kept carrying into the second half and ended up winning this one by 20 points. We'll take a look at some of the leaders in this one. Guillermo Narbona, 19 points, 8 of 10 from the field for Narbona. Guy averaging 20 points a game, second best in the conference, right on pace there. The leading rebounder was Ignacio DeCunda, double-double for him, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He also led the team with those 5 assists. As for Viterbo, it was Carson Kepnick with 11 points in this one. 4 players in double digits. Not a bad night in that regard. Just not enough to usurp the Fightin' Bees in this one. The leading rebounder, Colin Adams with 8, and the leading assister, Landon Thousand with 3. The team totals as St. Ambrose, 31 of 53 from the field. It's good enough for 59% from the field. 11 of 25 from beyond the arc, 44%. 9 of 11 from the free throw line. As for Viterbo, 25 of 63. 40% on the night from the field, from beyond the arc. 7 of 25 for 28, good enough for 28%. And from the free throw line, 9 of 12, 75% in that one. So for the win for St. Ambrose, they moved to 9-12 overall, and now 6-7 in conference play. They picked up back-to-back wins for them. For Viterbo, they fall now to 6-13, as well as 4-9 in conference play. Coming up next for the Fighting Bees, they'll be on the road to Indiana South Bend on Saturday. They look to continue their winning ways, and a really good stretch for them right now. As for Viterbo, back on the road against Governor State on Saturday to wrap up the month of January. And the next time they'll be at home will be not next Saturday, but the Saturday after on the 7th of February against St. Xavier right here to have it on the V-Hawk Sports Network. A couple of final scores from around the conference. Trinity Christian, 75. Indiana South Bend, 73 in that one. St. Francis in a tight one with Calumet, 59-57. St. Xavier in front of Indiana Northwest, 71-65. Holy Cross tied at half. A tight game at half, but now have busted it open, 61-47 against Judson. And a really low-scoring affair between Olivet Nazarene and Governor State, but the Jaguars lead the Tigers 28-26. So that being said, for our incredible crew, I'm Cooper Lipsky saying good night, so long. We hope you tune in again sometime soon on the V-Hawk Sports Network as St. Ambrose collects the 82-66 victory over Viterbo.